Hi, my name is Seth Bronheim. I'm the Director of Fitness at Centercourt Athletic Club in Chatham, New Jersey. I'm going to take you through an at-home flexibility routine that you can do on your own. All right, here we go. So for the first stretch, I'm going to do a hip flexor stretch. I'm going to put my leg on this pad. You can also use some pillows at home. And you take your opposite leg and really lean forward to feel a huge stretch in the hips. What I'm basically finding is that lots of tennis players and just my clients in general having very tight hips. So the first thing we're going to do is really get the hips loose. You're going to lean in. You're going to hold this stretch for 30 seconds, leaning in. And then you're going to raise your opposite arm up to get a huge stretch also through the lat muscles in the back. So you're going to hold this for 30 seconds. Okay? That's the first stretch. Do the same thing on the opposite side. So I'll take you through it again. So your knee is on this pad, or you can use some pillows at home. You're going to lean in, get a huge stretch in the hip, keeping the knee leaning nice and in. You're going to raise up your arm. You're going to hold this for 30 seconds. And for this stretch, you can do it 3 times each side, holding for 30 seconds. You want to hold the stretch so it's not extremely painful, but you should feel some mild discomfort. So that's stretch number 1, the hip flexor stretch. So again, stretching out the hips, we're going to now do a stretch that's going to hit more on the quadriceps, the front of the thigh. So what I'm going to do, use a bench at home. It's called, you're going to elevate your leg, you're going to put your foot on the bench, you're going to drop your knee down. You're going to move your knee back so your thigh is basically straight in line. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to keep my chest up and lean back. Raise my arm up again. And this is just going to hit the quadriceps, the front of the thigh, but also the hips. Quadriceps connect to the hips, so we really want to try to loosen that up. Again, we're going to hold this for 30 seconds, 3 times per side. Okay. And we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So, my knee goes on the pad. I bring my foot up onto the bench, just like this. Thigh is straight in line with my stomach. Raise my arm up. I'm going to hold this for 30 seconds. Again, so you're doing this 3 times for 30 seconds. Next stretch is going to work on my hip rotator muscles. Tennis, we're always doing sharp cuts, moving side to side, really causes a lot of hip tightness. So, sit on a bench at home, so my thighs are parallel to the ground. One leg comes up, so my foot is on my opposite knee. Take my elbow, I'm going to press down on my knee, and I'm going to take my opposite arm and I'm going to lean all the way down so I feel a huge stretch in my glute muscles and in my hip rotator muscles. Also, if your hamstrings are tight, you'll feel this in your hamstrings as well. So I'm going to hold this down for 30 seconds, and then I'm going to switch sides. So, same thing, foot, opposite knee. I'm going to take my elbow, drop it down to this knee, and I'm going to lean all the way down, try to have this hand right here, touch the floor as much as possible. So I'm going to hold this again for 30 seconds, going 3 times through. So, next stretch is called the Cossack Squat. I'm going to take a huge wide stance, really wide. I'm going to take this leg, I'm going to lift my heel up off the ground. What I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer all of my weight onto this opposite leg, and I'm going to squat down slowly. You want to squat down as much as your flexibility will allow. You're keeping the weight on your heels. So I'm leaning back. Notice how my hips move first, not this knee. I'm not moving like this. I'm actually moving backward. This is what's going to stretch the entire leg here. So I'm going to lean all the way down as much as my flexibility will allow. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this for 10 seconds. After 10 seconds, I'm going to transfer my weight, lift up, and I'm going to transfer my weight all down to the other side. My weight is on my heel, I'm sitting back, and I'm not putting pressure on the knee. And I'm holding this, again, for 10 seconds. You go back and forth to the other side, hold this for 10 seconds, then switch back again, and hold this for 10 seconds. So the next stretch is a pec stretch. You can either take a band at home or a towel. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lean back, stretch all the way back like this, and I'll hold this for 20 seconds. Stretching out the shoulders and the pecs. If you have a towel, grab a towel at home, bring it back, gonna allow your shoulders and your triceps to stretch. Holding this for 30 seconds. All right. So we're gonna come over to the wall. This last stretch in this flexibility series is an ankle stretch. A lot of times the front of the ankle and also the back and the calves can be extremely tight. So what I'm going to do is take my foot, bring it up to a wall, and I'm going to bring my knee to the wall. What I'm going to do is I'm going to inch my foot back 1 inch, lean forward again. And I'm going to keep inching back until I feel mild discomfort in the front of my ankles and my calf. I'm going to push back a little bit more. Okay, I found some mild discomfort, and I'm going to hold this for 10 seconds. Okay? After I hold this for 10 seconds, I'm going to switch to the other leg. As you can see, the weight, I'm leaning forward, but I'm keeping my heel on the ground. So same thing, I'll show you with the other leg. Foot hits the wall, I'm inching my way back. Okay? Inching my way back, okay? All right, found some mild discomfort. Now I'm going to keep my heel on the ground, and I'm going to lean forward, holding this for 10 seconds. You go back and forth 3 times. And so these stretches, starting off with the hip flexor stretch, the foot elevated hip and quad stretch, then you have the hip rotator stretch, the Cossack squat, and this ankle stretch. So all of these can help loosen up your muscles. Flexibility is more about frequency and not just doing 3 one-hour sessions throughout the week, but really having short, small sessions every day or at least five days a week. And that's really the way you're going to increase your flexibility, reduce injuries, and help you recover from exercise. Again, this is Seth Bronheim from Centercourt Athletic Club in Chatham, New Jersey, and thank you for your time.